In this guide I will share with you what class to pick for an efficient start based on starter sets from Haedrig's gift and how well they perform in the recent patch 2.7.7. This is my personal list of the best classes to start the next season in Diablo 3. Please keep in mind that this video is not intended for endgame progression and it only covers the beginning of season 30. So everything I mentioned here is my personal opinion and it may not be the same as yours. If you have any ideas, thoughts or questions, please leave a comment below. Alright, let's get started. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Firzj here, welcome to my starter sets guide for the season 30. Diablo 3 is currently in the maintenance mode and the devs won't add any new content to the game, but that doesn't mean that this game is dead. Absolutely not. Instead we have some seasonal themes from the previous seasons. Since the Altar of Right and Visions of Enmity are now permanent features, the actual theme is about soul shards, which first appeared in the season 25, the Lords of Hell. In my opinion this was the best seasonal theme ever created, because these soul shards with all different multipliers and effects had massively improved every single build and shook the meta. And considering that we also have no Paragon limitation and Altar of Right with additional passive effects such as auto pickup, auto salvaging, double primals, this season is going to be insane. Even if you are a casual player who has never seen Greater Reef level 150, there is a high chance for you to reach new heights. That's all regarding the actual season. Now it is time to take a look at the actual list. Place number 7 is Pestilence Necromancer. This set is possibly the weakest among all even after the recent tweaks from the patch 2.7.7. Despite its high mobility with Blood Rush, it is underperforming in toughness and output damage compared to other sets such as Rathma, Inarius and even Trag'Oul. Plus it is heavily dependent on Land of the Dead, which lasts only 10 seconds. So to make things work as intended you will have to find an appropriate gear with the maximum possible cooldown reduction. Once you equip all the required items like Crispin, Readiness Shadow Hook, Achilles Cuirass, Corpse Whisper Pauldrons, Oculus Ring and Jessup, it is still struggling to reach higher Greater Reefs, and by high I mean at least Greater Reef 140. While it's not very efficient for Paragon farming, it can definitely be used for speed farming reefs and bounties since we already have plenty of cooldown reduction, but still it's not very beginner friendly in my opinion. There's plenty of work to take and in the end it doesn't pay off much. However, if you plan to switch for the meta play, specifically 4-man group with Rathma, then Pestilence would be a good start for you. Moving next we have Witch Doctor Zunimasa's Haunt. Zunimasa is another underperforming set which you can choose during season 30. This set hasn't received any notable changes except now it deals even less damage with mana spenders than in the previous patch. Although this starter set is quite squishy at first, you will be able to stand straight in the medium level Greater Reefs and Reefs. Your pet, specifically Fetish Army, will tank and kill most of the enemies when you apply any mana spenders to them. Zunimasa features 7 set pieces and you don't need many legendaries to start dealing the actual damage. All you need is Dagger of Darts and 2 Helms, Carnival and Mask of Jerome. The rest is up to you. And since this set heavily relies on pets, you have to pray that they attack specific targets you want. Might be especially annoying when you want to kill the boss, but your army decides to slay someone else. Pets, AI and mana spenders will slow you down, but if you just want to have some fun or you are a die-hard Witch Doctor, then this starter set is for you. If your main goal is to push high tier Greater Reefs, then consider switching to Jade Harvester or Helltooth, as both of them have been drastically buffed in the patch 2.7.7. Place number 5 is the Elseer Magnum Opus starter set for Wizard. This starter set has also been buffed and it performs quite well in the Greater Reefs. What's more important is that it has enough toughness to survive any elites and bosses thanks to slow time ability. However, this set is not the most beginner friendly, as you have to maintain plenty of buffs, control your resource generation and spawn slow time in the right spots to deal the maximum damage. I'll tell you right away, this set is not good for regular Reefs, and other sets like Firebird or Child Taurasha require fewer buttons to press and provide more straightforward experience. If you prefer to play solo and push the leaderboards, then DLC is quite okay for that. However, before you go down this path, consider finding several legendary items like Crown of Primus, Unstable Scepter, Triumvirate, the Shame of Delseer and Wizard Spike. For more toughness you definitely need Halo of Carini and Guardian's Jeopardy craftable pieces. Quite a lot, isn't it? So if you still want to choose this class for some reason, I'd recommend you to switch Delseer to something else, like Firebird or Taurasha, as they have more output damage and mobility than this starter set. Number 4 is Demon Hunter embodiment of the Marauder, and there are several reasons why it is in this position. First, Marauder's damage has been halved in the patch 2.7.7, and second, it is slow paced if compared with other classes. This starter set is fun for pushing mid to high Greater Rifts, plus these sentries can cast your Hatred Spenders on their own. Since this set has been drastically nerfed, it is no longer a top 1, but that's okay because we still have soul shards to compensate that loss. Making Marauder is relatively easy, there are only 4 essentials to make this set work: Young's Bow, Bombardier's Rucksack, Zoe's Secret and Manticore. For extra damage you also need Focus and Restraint Rings and craftable Crimson set. Optionally you can use Elusive Ring, which can save you plenty of time while you're still leveling. Speaking of regular rifts and bounties, Marauder can't keep up with Unhallowed Essence or Gears of Dreadlands, as it requires to constantly spawn new sentries in every new dense spot. But aside of that, you can still choose Marauder and make a proper build in a matter of hours and go straight to Torment 16. Plus the choice is not limited to cluster arrows, you can also use multi-shot and annihilate bosses. At some point you can switch the set to the Gears of Dreadlands and begin your farming adventure properly, or even make a support ZDH with the pieces you have already found. Overall, Demon Hunter is still viable in the last season. Although this starter set isn't that versatile, it is still enough to get to the Torment 16 quickly. Place number 3 is Crusader with the Armor of Akan set. This is the best available set for Crusaders that consists of 7 pieces and can be played differently depending on your playstyle. Solo players will definitely like this starter set, because there are many different variations for Akan. You can use Bombardment, Blessed Shield, Phalanx or Condemned, but no matter what build you choose, you'll need plenty of cooldown reduction for permanent Akarat's champion. Basically, Crusaders are now in the middle spot, and you can efficiently farm Nephilim Rifts, some bounties, and push top level Greater Rifts, especially with the soul shards. Some account builds can even be found in the 4-man leaderboards, so there's a high chance that you can later participate in pushing top Greater Rifts. As for downsides, you will need to find plenty of essentials depending on what build you prefer, and lots of cooldown reduction in every single piece of equipment. Once you maximize all that, you will become an indestructible machine of Holy Order. Second place is the Legacy of Raikor Barbarian. This is another top set which you can get straight from Haedrig's gift. It is agile, reliable and super strong in the Greater Rifts. Even after the damage nerf in the patch 2.7.7, Raikor can still destroy anything on its way, although it's not very efficient in the regular Rifts and bounties, as the Ancient Spear and Furious Charge don't have a large area of effect and require some preparations to deal the actual damage. To get the most out of Raikor, you'll need to find several legendary items, such as the Furnace, 300 Spear, Area Slow, Scholar's Salvation, Band of Might and Stone Gauntlets. Extra items include Endless Walk and craftable Crimson set. The actual gameplay for this build is pretty straightforward. You charge into enemies, cast Weapon Throw and use Ancient Spear with the Boulder Toss rune. Even though it is fast and deadly, the gameplay might not be very exciting, especially for beginners. If you prefer to casually farm Nephilim Rifts and just relax, then Raikor isn't what you should be looking. Group and competitive players would certainly pick this set, as it is viable in the meta play and you can get to rank 1 in the solo leaderboards if you fish for the best map layouts. And the final place number 1 is Inna's Mantra. This set hasn't received any changes in the patch 2.7.7, so Inna still remains on top among other sets regarding speed farming. Just like a Khan, it has 7 pieces that also includes two-handed weapon, which is really cool to obtain early on, because this Diablo has built-in Mystic Ally bonus. Once you get all the set pieces, you become super tanky because of mantras, and your Mystic Ally deal an increased damage for each active minion. To unlock its full potential, you will need to find the crudest boots and bindings of the lesser gods. Farming Nephilim Rifts, Echoed Nightmares and bounties with this set is going to be relatively easy, especially within Geom. As for the greater rifts, it is highly recommended to use Shenlong Fists, but pushing high tiers requires some practice. Even though this set has plenty of power for any activities, pushing 150 GR within would be challenging. In my opinion, Legacy of Nightmares and Uliana have more chances to get to rank 1 in the leaderboards. Now before you go, here's the class table that sums up set's performance. 1 plus represents the possibility to run a certain activity, and 3 pluses mean that it is a strongly capable class. For a disclaimer, I must say that this table is based on PTR leaderboards and personal experience. As Season 30 also includes Soul Shards and Altar of Right, most of the sets will be able to close high tier greater rifts. The meta play remains pretty much the same, 2 support roles as a Barb and Demon Hunter, and 2 damage dealers, Necromancer and Lord Wizard. Speaking of the seasonal conquest, we have to finish the rift in 2 minutes. This can be done naturally and much easier in public games. Level 3 gems to level 65 can do that in Echoed Nightmares or just casually playing GRs. Kill all the bosses within 20 minutes, super easy if you have a fast build or a friend. Close GR 75 solo, which is not a big deal, especially with powerful soul shards. And clear cursed chest, the hardest one but still manageable if you find some assistance. All these conquests can be done pretty fast without much preparation, and in case you have some troubles finishing specific conquests, I have a few video guides on my channel, feel free to check it out. And that is all I wanted to share with you. What class are you going to play in the next Season 30? Share your opinion in the comments below. Hope you liked this video, please consider subscribing to support my work. I will be very pleased if you support me on Patreon, because I don't get any money from YouTube and I don't have much free time to create quality videos for Diablo. Thank you for watching and listening, have a nice day, stay safe, and I see you guys in the next season.